There's a basket of altcoins that I think is definitely worth buying for the coming alt season slash bull market for altcoins, whatever you want to call it. And in this video, I would like to do what I usually don't like to do, and that's give somewhat of a price prediction for these altcoins. Now, let me already tell you, this is a price prediction that is going to be wrong, of course. Nobody can predict the exact prices of certain assets, but we can use the great charts to base it off. So welcome to the Fomo Factory. If you're already excited, like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on so you don't miss out on anything, because man, it's time to be bullish, man. It's really time to be bullish. Quick update first, like Bitcoin. A lot of people, they feel like, this time is different. It's going sideways for so long. Bro, there are always times in the market where it does not only go up or down, you can also go sideways, right? We had it here in 2019-20 for a long time. We went sideways in 2015-16 for a long time. Here we went sideways for a long time in this cycle before we moved. So it's always, as you can see, kind of the bear market. It finds the bottom. We have a big run up, then it cools off, goes sideways for a long time, and then we have the second leg. And the second leg is usually the most fun leg, because that's the leg where altcoins also go up, because the Bitcoin dominance in that stage of the market goes down. And that's more because Bitcoin finds new cycle highs. Everybody that owns Bitcoin is in a profit then. So they feel like, okay, I don't know how much further this can go. Let's put these profits into something that has not made new highs yet. And these are the altcoins, of course. So do we need Bitcoin to make a new high first before we really can see altcoins run? I think so. But that's going to happen. That's going to happen for sure. And I know what you think, like, but we already made a new high. Yeah, that was a piece of shit wick. Like, what's that, right? Like, I mean, a really breakthrough, clear, close above it, test it as support, and then go up from there, and not that quick, like, hi, bye, like that. What is that, right? So I'm going to show you a couple of altcoins that I think are really good, but I'm also want to give you a price prediction for these altcoins. And again, it's not that if I say like, hey, this altcoin goes to $50, right? And it goes to like 40 maybe, that you should feel like, wow, this was so off. It's more like it's some kind of a direction, right? Also for myself to like, okay, what's a maybe realistic price to take some profits? Although time-wise, it's better to get out the market than price-wise. But a full exit strategy video is definitely coming. Therefore, subscribe. Now, we can, of course, take a look at altcoin charts. And we can, I'm lately shitting on influencers, and I like it actually. So we can do it like these influencers. We can just take a look at an altcoin and say what it does and tell people that it's going to 50x, right? Without looking at charts. But when it comes to charting, I like to use charts for some reason. I don't know, that's usually pretty helpful. So let's actually do that. But we cannot just look at altcoins. We have to, take a step back, because I can give a price prediction for an altcoin that I love, and that could be 10x from here. But if Bitcoin doesn't do anything, then that's probably not going to happen, right? So it's going to depend on Bitcoin. Now we have to first take another step back, right? Is Bitcoin going to go up? Well, bro, if you are not convinced that Bitcoin is going to go up, I would say, welcome to crypto. Yes, it is going to go up. You can be very short-sighted about it, like halving up, halving up, halving up, halving down. Nah, it's like crypto is fucking cyclical, okay? And if you still don't believe in that, look at the COVID dump. We had COVID, the worst shit in the world during crypto's existence, and it didn't the cycle didn't change a bit. Yeah, we had a short crash. Overall, we still finished the 4-year cycle, right? So yes, it's gonna go up. It's purely money is worth less, and the assets against that are gonna be worth more, basically. Also, no increasing supply. That's kind of what Bitcoin is made for, of course. And don't forget about the fact that we're gonna have money printing. QE will be coming. We have a presidential election coming, and whether you say like, wow, Trump should win or Harris should win, you know, the market likes certainty more, right? I mean, here we had Biden winning and it still moons, right? So overall, for me, yeah, I think overall it would suit crypto better if Trump will win. But nevertheless, even if Harris will win, crypto eventually will go up. That's just what it is. We have the rate cuts that are basically happening, right? There's too much bullish news. And don't get it wrong, Bitcoin is just like $1.3 trillion market cap. It's like not, it's a lot of money, but it's not like that much, right? Like there's more money than that. So yeah, it's going to be okay. So if we want to know where altcoins might go, yeah, where Bitcoin might go? Well, it's hard again to predict prices. If you just look at what stage of the market we are in, right, and you have to account for diminishing returns and this and that, I know. But if you look here, we had the halving and we had a 3,700% pump. We had the halving and we had a 11,000% pump, right? As you can see, that's of course diminishing. It takes more to pump Bitcoin. We had the halving, we had a 700% pump, or 800 actually. So, you know, is saying just like 300% or so. That's already pretty freaking diminishing, right? Is that really off the table? 300% already puts it at like 240K, right? Like it sounds like a lot, but it's not that far from here. And the way more unrealistic scenarios have happened every single time before. So it's every time somebody says at $165, right? Like Bitcoin will go to 20K. You would have been sent to a mental hospital, bro. And yet it happened, right? Like it's crypto, right? Doge always reached $1. XRP for some reason exists. Like the weird shit happens, right? That's just what happens. If you take a look at a very simple chart as well, the logarithmic regression bands for Bitcoin, let's not overcomplicate it. Green is buy, red is sell. We are now in green. Buy, right? Like it's like you could be again in the camp like this time is different, but it's hard to argue against that all the time. These people just simply won't win so far. Every bull market, Bitcoin goes to, or at least gets close to the upper band, right? Here, 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 and here in both kind of peaks. We didn't even get close to leaving the lower band this time, right? So if you feel like, okay, yeah, you know, 4-year cycle, so far intact, right? So we could top out somewhere end of 2025. Where's the upper band sitting by then? 300K is the lower side of it. 450K is the upper side of it. And again, I'm not saying like, well, 300K is guaranteed. I'm only saying that's what happened every time so far, right? So it's not unrealistic to think that that could also happen this time. But let's be like super careful and conservative so it could only get better. Let's say half of this. That would be by far the worst case scenario of all these things, right? Half of it. So 150K maybe. Is that really weird? I don't think that's really weird, man. Also, if you look, we are in October of the halving year. If you just look how far it pumped from every October in the halving year, it was 2016. Bitcoin still had a big run to go, right? Here it was 2020 October, which was here. Bitcoin still had a pretty big run to go, right? The second leg is still coming. But we need this stage of the market where it goes sideways to make people like get out of the market, right? It's what we did right here as well. Not everybody can be a winner. It's very much player versus player, right? So we need some losing players right now. We need some capitulators. We need some people to stop believing that FOMO back in and pump our backs once Bitcoin really goes up again. And that's always the case. Once you're in the bull market, you can never believe that it will be a bear market again. And once we're in a bear market, you won't believe that it will ever be a bull market again. And once it goes sideways, you will never believe something will happen in the first place again. But it's just like what it is. That so far has always happened. Let's say one other, it's not even really an indicator, but if you just take a look at Fibonacci retracement tool, then you can see that in the last cycle, we kind of topped out around the 3.618. And if we put the same Fibonacci over it right now, you can see that 3.618 comes in at around, well, $200,000. Again, let's say 150, just to make it easy, right? That's kind of 2x from where we are right now. Like, that's cautious, that's careful, that's actually bearish, okay? That's actually super bearish. But let's say 150K, and it stays like that for a while, right? To give altcoins a little bit of room. Cool. Let's use that as a measurement point, right? And in the meantime, I know it's a long intro, but without this, making altcoin predictions are just wild guesses sucked out of a thumb, right? We have to have a little clue where Bitcoin could go. And I think 150K is pretty realistic. So let's work with that. Now, let's take a look at something. This is the altcoin market. Others, that's everything in the top 125, excluding the top 10. So no high caps, but also no stables like USDC, XRP, etc. So this is really altcoins. But this is the dominance, right? So how much are actual altcoins dominating this crypto space? And that's currently 10%. Right? So of all the market cap in crypto, which is currently 2 trillion, others dominates for 10%, therefore 217 billion for the altcoin markets right now in total. This is 10%. Now, this has been in this parallel channel for at least 7 years. This goes back to 2017. Right, and went to the top, to the mid section, to the top, to the low side, to the mid side, to the top, to the low side, mid, low. So it's ranging pretty freaking accurate, right? After these, and actually, if you look at it like this, you could say like it already started here in 2014, so it's been accurate for 10 years. So how weird is it to say that this will also be accurate for the coming year, right? The odds are very much in your favor. And again, it's not a guarantee, but hey, 7 years of accuracy, maybe even 10, I wouldn't bet against it at least, right? So if it's going to be accurate for another year, then what will we see? Then we will see that this will go to the upside. Why? One, that's the pattern. Two, also, that's what happens during with altcoins during the post-halving year. Right? This pump right here was in 2021. This pump right here was in 2017. These are the only years that are really worth it for altcoins. Therefore, it feels boring right now because people expect altcoins to pump. And in reality, altcoins never really pump except for the post-halving years. And the other year that they pump in the halving year, it's more because Bitcoin also goes up, right? Not because altcoins outperform. So don't get your hopes up like, oh yeah, altcoins always go up once it's not a bear market anymore. Like, nah, that's not really how it works. But post-halving years are famous for making altcoins pump really hard. And basically what happens is that the money that's in the crypto market floats into altcoins, whether it comes from stables, right, USDT or whatever, but also from Bitcoin. Because again, here, people already made money with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is kind of in price discovery at that point, right? You can overlay Bitcoin right here. Let's make it logarithmic. You can see right here where the alt season really started was here for Bitcoin. And that's kind of where Bitcoin broke its all-time high, right? So everybody in Bitcoin is in a profit, and people feel like, yeah, it's price discovery, it's now dangerous, it's not so easy to measure anymore. Let's put it into something else that still has more potential, and therefore it goes into the altcoin market. So if we hold this range, and again, it's all very speculative, but then again, it's also just based on, for now, 1.5 decades of information, which is quite a lot already. It's not like lot, but it's something, right? If it does what it always does, then we should get somewhere towards 30%. Let's remember that, 30%. Now, that's quite interesting. Why is that interesting? Because if you take a look at the crypto market as it is today, it has a total capitalization of $2.3 billion, right? So that's with 30%, that's 690 trillion. With 30%, that's 690 billion, right? So what could happen theoretically is Bitcoin doesn't go up by a bit, right? The whole market just stays where it is, but the dominance just shifts. So no more money is flowing into crypto at all, not a cent. It's just that money from Bitcoin goes into altcoins, stables go into altcoins. We don't need more money. Still, then the altcoin market could get to $690 billion. And that's here. And that's a 3x from here. And these are far new highs. Now, I know what you think, like 3x is not that much. Look, a 3x doesn't sound like much. But you have to realize this is the top 125. We, as the dirty degens, probably invest far out of the top 125 as well. These altcoins pump way harder, of course, right? So when this chart does a 3x, these altcoins could easily 5 to 10x, right? So what you then want to do is kind of look like, okay, how do altcoins, my altcoins, do against the market, right? So then what you want to look for is, well, you know, this, the altcoin market, right? From absolute cycle bottom to so far absolute cycle top, it did a 420%. Now let's take a look at some altcoins, right? So some altcoins that I like, for example. And I'll get to the more bullish part in a second because, again, this is in case that no new money at all flows into the crypto market, which is, of course, going to happen, right? Let's, for example, take a look at an altcoin that I like. So I invested in Cedarfy a lot, right? So what happened right here, during the bottom, the absolute cycle bottom to the absolute cycle top, overall, the market did 420%. Cedarfy, however, did 980%, so more than double. Right, so then you can go back to this and be like, okay, if this moves 213%, more than double it was, so let's say Cedarfy could do 500%, right? So that could be that Cedarfy goes to $8-9, right? It's now 140. Again, this is purely based on shifting of money, not an inflow of new money, just the shift, right? Just the shift. So this is a very realistic, but also a very still pretty bearish case scenario, and it's also very theoretical because I don't think that this money will shift like this if no new money flows into the market. But you can see the potential even if no new money comes in at all, right? So that's possible. So I like Cedarfy, for example. Beam is a project that I like, but it's harder to tell because this is newer, of course. AVAX kind of, I think, went with the market. So where the market overall did 426%, AVAX did, well, slightly more, 645%. So again, if it's going to do 200%, then AVAX is going to do 300, 350, something like that, right? Which is, let's say 300, which is definitely not bad. Puts you at $108 AVAX. It's now at 26%. Dollars, goddamn. Sorry. So for such a high cap, low risk, relative low risk coin, that's a good return, right? So that's kind of how I would like to take a look at the market. But now let's take a step back first, because again, I don't see this as super realistic, actually. As I said, I think it's still very conservative, but I think very achievable to say that Bitcoin can definitely go to $150,000, right? Now, let's say that happens, and Bitcoin is currently at $1.2 trillion market cap, so it adds another let's say the same, and it's at a $2.5 trillion market cap. So the total crypto market will be sitting at 3.6 trillion. Some other coins will gain a little bit. So let's say 4 trillion, right? 4 trillion. Now, again, this is the trend for the altcoin market. According to the trend, it could go to 30%, right? 4 trillion is 30% is 1.2 trillion. right? 1.2 trillion. I think that is a very realistic scenario for the altcoin market, 1.2 trillion dollars. So if you get to 1.2 trillion, that's, oh, that's fucking there, by the way. Don't even need to adjust it. That's another 460% pump from this point, give or take, right? Give or take. Is that really weird to think? I mean, here we had the top, and the next top was 500% higher, right? If we get from this top to that 1.2 trillion, that's 144% higher. That's already super diminishing. That's 3x diminishing. That like, yeah, that could definitely happen, right? 1.2 trillion. So that's 459%. That's kind of the same pump that we have seen from the bottom until the absolute top. So like, not what your portfolio has actually gained, right? Because big chance you did not exactly buy everything at the bottom and sold everything at the top. On paper, you would have made a lot of money. Well, it's kind of like we're sitting at that bottom right now, if you want to compare, and go to that top again, right? So the bottom, we already have it, right? Everything that you have in your portfolio right now, that's basically the bottom if this plays out. And then it's our job to hopefully sell it or DCA it as close to the top as possible, right? Let's not try to time that. It's not gonna work, but let's see. Maybe it goes higher than this. Maybe this is one of your DCA steps. Could definitely be. So 459%. Now, again, that's kind of, if we look at Avalanche, for example, right? What Avalanche did during that period is 650%, right? So you can take Avalanche from this exact point, and 650% is a $200 AVAX, right? Slightly above the previous all-time high. Why not blasting right through it and go way higher? Well, the tokenomics are different, right? More token circulation right now, so it's not that weird. But also AVAX, if you want to put the narrative and the logic behind it, yeah, makes sense. AVAX is better now, right? Like everything in crypto basically is better right now, but AVAX is better right now. Subchains are great. The fees are super low right now. Off the grid, a lot of good gaming projects are coming to AVAX. More money in crypto in the first place. So it kind of makes sense that even with the inflation, it could top out a little higher than the previous cycle. So yeah, I would say, look, it's not that I see this, I say, yeah, AVAX goes to $200. But basically, based on this, it's not weird to believe that AVAX goes to $200. So what I'm kind of saying is everything, every coin on average, of course, right? Not going to play out, it's not that easy. But kind of on average, the coins that pumped from the bottom to the top could have the same kind of pump from this exact point. That's kind of what I can see happen, right? So you see the FI at $15, $16, for example. Yeah, you can do the math yourself, right? Now there are exceptions, like for example, Superverse. You could say like, yeah, it went up 2,100%. So another 2,100% from here, like we have to encounter that this is all on average, right? So where one coin goes up harder, the other goes up less hard, of course, right? Because the overall crypto market will, according to this pump like that. Plus it was easier to pump here than here. Like that's just what it is, right? But that's on average how I would look at it. And look, that's like for a lot of coins, that's a serious 10x. And then it's your job to look at your portfolio, like how careful am I? How conservative am I? How risky am I? Do I want to, stick to the high caps? Is a 5x enough for me? I think you can pull it off with top 50 coins, easy. Do I want to make more like 50x's? Yeah, that's possible. You can get completely wrecked, but if you're willing to take that risk, fine. Look outside of the top 125, right? Look at the popular narratives. Look at the narratives that gain most. And in my opinion, GameFi, Launchpads, and yeah, whatever GameFi and Launchpads mostly actually. But I also think that AI on a very speculative basis could do kind of the same thing. Now, oh, look, I want to try to make it more spectacular and increase my popularity by calling all these coins. You can look at the list like, dummy, it's a super low cap. Dummy, here, 50x. Look, bro, I don't know, man. Maybe the team fucks it all up. Maybe there will be something there. I don't know. Like, that is literally not predictable. That's just really not respondable as a YouTuber to say something like that. So if you search for these channels, don't do that, right? Because I can give you some low caps that I like, and I will give some low caps that I like, but not in the form like, well, this do a 50x, so buy it, right? Like, it's a guess. It's always a guess, right? And we can make these guesses based on the fundamentals, the team, and the market behavior, and the tokenomics, etc., etc. But at the end of the day, we still don't know. But yeah, no, I will make some coin videos, but I'm not gonna promise you piles of gold, actually, because looking at these altcoins doesn't matter. If the market does what I expect it to do, then the whole market blows up. Then it will go absolutely bananas, and then the low caps, the good low caps, will rip and will make 50 or 100 X's. But that depends on the market. Now, will this alt season be just as big as all the other alt seasons? Or like a lot of influencers on Twitter also say like, get ready for the biggest alt season ever. Yeah, sorry to disappoint you, but this is gonna be by far the smallest alt season ever. What the fuck, are you high or what? Look, alt season, people are sick of me explaining this probably, but I'm sick of people not understanding this, I guess. Alt season is where altcoins outperform Bitcoin. That's just the definition of an alt season. And if you look at the Bitcoin dominance, is it alt season? Fuck no. Like, it's completely the opposite, of course. It's Bitcoin season and altcoins are getting screwed against Bitcoin, right? That's just what it is. At a certain point, the Bitcoin dominance will go down, and that's what we call an alt season. Now, that depends, like, is that going to happen during a Bitcoin downtrend, sideways, or uptrend? If it happens during a Bitcoin uptrend, then altcoins on the dollar pair explode. That is what happened in the last two alt seasons. Alt season in 2021, dominance went down, Bitcoin went up. Alt season in 2017, dominance went down, Bitcoin went up. So altcoins went really parabolic. There's a good chance that that happens again. It's not a guarantee though. But no, it won't be the biggest alt season ever. I mean, this alt season, the dominance went down with 63%, right? If that's going to happen right now, 63%, that will take the Bitcoin dominance all the way to like 20%. Something really weird has to happen. But the positive side is, here, we had to take the money out of a 30, 40, 50, 60K Bitcoin, right? Here was Bitcoin was on the rise from 20 to 60K, and that money flew into altcoins. Here, Bitcoin was even way lower. Now, we get that money out of a 60 up to 150K Bitcoin, right? So there is way more money. There's way more. There's a way higher market cap, way more market share to take it from to put it in low cap altcoins. And so therefore, I do think that especially the low ones, the real low cap ones, could be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, it's a sea, man. It's a sea, and you have to fish, and you better hope you're not getting a shark who bites you in the dick. Like, weird metaphor. But that's what it is. There are too many coins right now. Therefore, you do not hear me talk about meme coins. It's not that I don't like meme coins, and it's not that I think that meme coins cannot make you money, but I did this challenge once or twice or maybe 20 times on this channel where I bought like 10 different meme coins, all brand new, put some money in to see if I'm rocked or rich. I bought more than 150 coins overall. 0 coins made me rich. And I think 150 rocked. Like, that's the ratio. And there are some winning lottery tickets here and there. But if that's how you want to play it, then it's faster to go to a casino. And to be honest, your odds are way better in a casino. Right? So I don't really do that kind of stuff. I just wait for the market. Right? That's, in my opinion, the way to do it. And look for the narratives. Again, launchpads are going to be the big outperformers. In a market where everybody has money, they want to step into new coins. And you can do that through launchpads. And little cheat for you. Again, if you look, how much did the crypto market went up during this phase? 400 something %. Look what other projects did, right? Like CDFI is not a micro cap coin or anything, yet it went up like almost 1,000%. So it outperformed the market twice. If you look at most other launchpads, they did as well. That's kind of the preview. Like, hey, this is the market where we're currently in. Good luck. You know what to do, right? And there are still people saying, nah, I'm not going in launchpads. Like, but it just showed you. Okay, whatever. So it may not be exactly what you wanted from this video. Like, wow, my top altcoins and price predictions. But it's more. One, you find the altcoins that are like right here, actually. And the price predictions, I can put this same calculation on every one of these coins, but you can do that yourself as well, right? And it's still gonna be wrong. I can tell you that. Like, it is not that I can now say like, let's go to Ronin, for example. Like, well, Ronin from the bottom to the top did a 2,000%. So it's going to do 2,000% from this point, and Ronin is going to $33. Like, no, that's the average, right? But there's a very small chance that Ronin is exactly going to $33. Like, that's not going to happen, right? If it does exactly happen, by the way, I'm feeling like a fucking clown now, but that's the alpha for today, actually. And again, this is not moonboyish. This is just me saying, recap, this is just me saying Bitcoin is going to do around the 2x from here, which is the most bearish scenario that we have ever witnessed, actually, at this stage of the market. And while that happens, the altcoin dominance is just going to follow trend, right? So that's not unrealistic. It's unrealistic if I would say that it's not going to follow trend anymore. And in my opinion, Bitcoin, just a simple like 2x from here is also, I don't think, that unrealistic. Based on that, that's what these altcoins can do. If Bitcoin feels like, hey, we're going to stick to what we see right here, for example, and it's going to do twice as much as I just said, and that would line up with the rest of the cycles, actually, yeah, then these prices going to go way higher, right? I understand, like, wow, high targets. That could never happen. Again, look back, it always happens, plus more, right? But people only believe it when they see it. And that's one thing that crypto is very good at. So, want to wrap it up right there. If you like the video, please give it a good smack on the ass. Subscribe to the channel, turn the bell notification on. And yeah, I don't know what else to say, man. I'm fucking tired. I love you. Thanks for watching. Take care.